wrong for taking my ex-wife to court despite all the drama it will cause? Let's jump into the facts. My ex-wife and I have 2 kids together, now 22 and 26, so they're adults. We divorced when the youngest was about 7. My ex-wife and I have been on relatively good terms and share almost all of the same friends. One friend, Janice, we both knew since college and was basically an aunt to our kids. She passed away from melanoma cancer. Her health deteriorated rapidly. Before her death, she asked me to come visit her. She confessed that my ex-wife, her best friend, had confided in her that my oldest child was not mine. She bawled her eyes out asking for forgiveness for not telling me sooner. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't angry she kept this from me, but better late than never, and I just wanted to give her whatever comfort I could. Anyway, since then, I've taken my ex-wife to court for paternity fraud. I basically just went to a lawyer, explained the situation, and asked him to do whatever he could. I've already had an official paternity test done and verified he's not my biological son. I still love my kids unconditionally. I take a bullet for either of them without hesitation. This is not about them. It's about my ex-wife knowingly defrauding me out of thousands of dollars. I don't think I can let that slide. So, am I wrong? Well, this got a little crazy quickly. As always, make sure you're commenting below, letting me know your thoughts on the situation. We are going to jump into the analysis. As you know, I am a California attorney, so we are going to be talking about this under California law. And as always, this is not legal advice. This is just my opinion based on my legal experience. So let's jump right into it. In California, we do not have a thing called paternity fraud. In many states, if you find out that someone committed fraud, it basically restarts the statute of limitations for you to file a lawsuit, even though it might have been several years. In this case, it sounds like it's been about 15 years since the party divorced, and he's basically trying to restart the clock for fraud so that he can bring this lawsuit, even though their case settled over 15 years ago. So there are a couple of things that we can talk about in this situation. We can talk about the paternity and whether he is liable as the parent, and child support, because it seems like he is upset that he was defrauded out of thousands of dollars for paying for child support for this child. So let's talk about paternity first, because that seems to be the main issue that the husband is upset with. In California, if you are not married at the time that the child is born, you can establish paternity in 2 different ways. It will be a judgment through the court, or you sign a declaration of paternity. If either of those 2 things happen, you have 2 years from the date that the child is born or the date that you signed the declaration of paternity to challenge that you are the father of the child. In this case, it sounds like the party was married. So in California, if you are married, you are presumed to be the legal father automatically if the child was conceived and born during the marriage. So even if she cheated on him and she got pregnant with someone else and he was married to her, he is presumed to be the father. No ifs, ands, or buts. And the crazy part about the conclusive marital presumption is that it's really hard to overcome, and the California courts really want the marital unit to remain the parents of the child if possible. So if this guy would have filed within the 2 years, he would have had to prove that there is no way that he could be the father, including that him and the mom were not living together or that they were not having intercourse. And he would also have to prove some things that people might consider embarrassing. He would have to prove that he had erectile dysfunction or that he had no sperm. He's sterile. There's no way that he can father the child. If he can't prove those things along with a DNA test, the court is likely going to find him to be a father. And if we're looking at the overall picture of this, he was the father of this child for at least 26 years. So the courts are going to try their hardest to keep that intact, because you don't want to hurt the child that this is not his father that he grew up with for the last 26 years that has taken care of him. Even he says himself that he would take a bullet for either of the children. So why are we going back and doing this? Now let's talk about the child support. He would have had to contest this child support long ago. He is not entitled to receive any of this money back. However, the poster does not say what state he's in, and apparently he got a lawyer that was willing to take this to court. So there is a possibility that they do actually have paternity fraud in their state. Unfortunately, I am not familiar with that, so I can't really go deep into what he would be entitled to because of this paternity fraud, whether he would be entitled to the child support or he would just get some type of damages because he paid, which wouldn't exactly be exactly what he paid, but maybe like $10,000 for pain and suffering. I don't know. But in California, he would not be able to bring this lawsuit at all because he would have had to contest the paternity of this child 24 years ago. And I know that sounds insane, so definitely let me know what y'all think. And if you made it this far into the video, make sure you are hitting the like button, subscribing, and telling your friends about this channel. And if you thought that this situation was crazy, make sure you watch this video where the wife tries to take 62% of the marital assets in a divorce.